What is up, everybody? I am here, you are there, and we might actually be in different time zones. So let's talk about the clock. The way that we use the clock, for the most part, on the surface of this planet is we use it to track the sun in regards to our point on the surface of the planet. So as the planet spins, the position of the sun in relationship to our point on the surface of this planet changes, and we use the clock to determine what that position is, and we give that position a time. At noon, the sun is directly above where our position on the planet is, depending on the season. So our clock is measuring that. At midnight, the sun is directly on the opposite side of the planet, right? It's shining on the opposite side of the planet. Now there's a different clock called the sidereal clock, which is actually measuring our position on the planet's relationship to the center of the galaxy. And so today's practice is to look up your local sidereal time. And that's going to be dependent on your location on Earth and the position in which the center of galaxy is to that position. I'm going to put a link in the description where you can look it up on a website, or there's a couple apps that are just called sidereal, and you just put your placement in the app and it'll give you your local sidereal time. Now, why is this important? So imagine that noon sidereal time, the center of the galaxy is directly facing your position on the planet. There's a lot of information coming off stars, particularly our sun, right? So there's a big difference in energy between noon and midnight. Big, huge difference. Well, there's a big difference in energy between noon sidereal time and other times sidereal time, midnight, where the center of the galaxy, if this is the center of the galaxy, if you're on this side of the planet, you're not really getting as much information as if the center of the galaxy was at noon. Now, they were looking at, this guy was looking at all this, like 1,500 different studies on remote viewing, and he noticed that there was a spike. There was a spike in these studies, and he couldn't figure out why. At one point, some people just had a 400% success rate at remote viewing. And he was compiling the data, and time wasn't a factor. And then he analyzed everything in regards to sidereal time. And what he found is across 1,500 different studies on remote viewing, there's a 400% increase in accuracy of remote viewing at 1:30 p.m. sidereal time. So around that window, 1:30 p.m. is the peak. You have a 400% increase in psychic ability sidereal time. Now 1:30, what does that mean? It means it's been at noon and a little bit past noon, right? So 1:30 in our afternoon in regular time, standard time, it's pretty hot because the sun has been at its peak and then a little bit past that, warming up the planet. So at 1:30 p.m. sidereal time, we have an increased psychic ability. What does this all mean? How do we put this into practice? Well, first of all, we're going to observe and be aware of this other clock. That is the main point of this drill. But then we can actually start planning events around the sidereal clock. We can start planning many things: meditations, meetings, presentations, right? I'm suggesting that practice is just to look up your sidereal time, become aware of it. But this really, for some of you who want to actually take this serious, could be something that you actually plan your life around as we do the regular time, right? Well, there's another time that is also quite important. That is it. Hit me up with questions if you'd like. Sidereal time, sidereal. It's like sidereal. It's like another reality off to the side.